I just got here and I don't want to be here anymore.
There's not going to be anything else.
There you go.
There we got him.
Gotcha, bitch.
Now, what were we talking about? Go ahead and say that one more time.
I was saying how I love Marvel comics, and then I realized I'm wearing a Batman shirt because I wanted to wear an action focused
So you're
shirt.
a liar.
So I'm a liar. I'm just a liar. That's the context of this conversation.
I would have worn my RoboCop shirt, but it really looks like we're going 90s and beyond. So
I mean, 80s in there.
I think that's I have some 80s too, but I think that's also part of the discussion that we'll get to.
Yeah, the idea is basically
momentarily.
like how action feels a transition, and like we had a solid block for like 20 years of a formula that was working basically to like the late 90s. And I think I want to say that like aside from 9/11, things like that, The Matrix may have been the first crack in the dam for this said formula.
well, we shouldn't have the
I mean, we're not going to talk
just
about
yet, but-
yeah, I'm just
because
I mean 80s
I have
80s are
thoughts.
involved in there. So you could, I mean, that's why I put in the list I broke it into 80s, 90s, and 2000s. So you can pull something from the 80s if you like. And you can also obviously add stuff in there. I just was scouring real quick, like some of the like headlines from those decades that, we could all probably kind of talk about without having to like know beat for beat each of the sets of the movie.
Well,
I
we've
love-
talked so much about the 80s already, the 80s horror movies as well. It was kind of like, okay, let's try. Maybe I'll focus somewhere else then.
Because we covered it before in our favorite movies, like when we did our top 3 and stuff. So, I mean, we've been all across the board. But
I mean, we also reference it a lot too. I put it in the picture. You see, there's a face-off image in there. So I'll let you guys rant about Nicolas Cage.
He's the best.
Yeah. Around.
Hey, Jason.
Hey guys, how we doing?
Dude, okay, how are you?
Good.
So, we are recording, so any sort of disparaging or racist remarks you made will be recorded to the cloud.
So this is
And
how I
used
feel
against
about
you.
the whites.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Let's roll with this.
Okay,
Because
cool. All right.
I have some strong opinions
Okay.
as a member, reluctant.
As a member.
I don't care for whites. Are we talking about
Yeah.
wine or like what are we talking about?
Yeah,
I actually
yeah,
do think
the
white
wines.
wine is the straight up worst.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you son of a bitch.
I know
Better
it's
than dead.
What
He's
are you
like a
drinking on
Moscato,
this
give
warm
it to
summer
me.
day?
Nobody wants that pure Aryan wine.
Jeez.
It's just
I
too
don't
dry.
know. I just got here and I
Damn
don't
right
want
it
to be
is.
here anymore.
Need
Really
an adult.
turn.
Yeah. Yeah, Mom, can you come pick me up, please?
Mom's not gonna save you now.
All right.
All right, so I gave us. Go ahead.
Now go ahead.
I kind of broke down an overview of things that we can't explore. We don't have to do all of them. We don't have to do any of them. We don't want to. This could be a Space Jam story, entirely different. But if you guys would like to talk about action movies, if you go to the overview section, I kind of broke down. We can go through our favorite types of action movies. So if you want to just do genres, you can do like fighting or
Loving.
I don't know if there's a loving, but like single man survival ones where you get like a Die Hard-esque kind of guy, or you do the buddy action ones where you have two big names that like Tango and Cash kind of thing.
Speaking of racism,
Jackie Chan. Yeah.
Then we have, and then I really wanted to kind of center this around the effects of 9/11 and how that's really changed stuff and how it's kind of opened the door wide open for like the comic book movie and the big
That got
disaster film.
weird, Kareem.
but he's right.
I want
Because
to talk about loving action movies, and then I want to talk about 9/11. That's all I heard on my end.
That is what you're in for, buddy.
I mean,
No.
he didn't put a sequitur in there. That's what he said.
that was
the
No, well, I mean,
We're
before you came on, I said that the thing
hard.
that might have been like the linchpin for the change in the formula for action films that we got from the 80s and 90s could have been The Matrix, which was like, I think, an underrated thing that kind of turned the tide on how we make action movies, both visually and just storytelling.
Okay.
The kind of things that the audience was expecting. And then, like I said, when you get into 9/11, you kind of break down how sensitive people were to action, to violence, to terrorism, all the things we used to kind of take light of And like a Die Hard where you have
4 months.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if we want to stay in like a positive note, we can, talk about how some people tried to draw out the correlation between the Matrix and school shootings. Since you want to be so positive with 9/11, let's just keep going in that direction and talk about how a bunch of white kids ruined it for everyone.
You would think so.
Would like
but not only do action movies still have guns, they have more guns, and school shootings have gone up. So hey,
because people don't learn. But, like whatever.
Exactly. Go ahead, Jason.
I would like to take this time for the next hour to talk about AR-15s. And
All right, now we're talking.
And JPG, where can people find you on the internet?
Who's your sponsor?
Nowhere. I have no digital
letters
footprint.
NRA. What do they stand for?
He is at Rogue Jedi Gaming. Go ahead and send all your hate thoughts towards. He's never received anything. We all know it. It's fine. I have no poll, so it's fine.
But you can send AR-15 orders to him.
Yep. Please, God.
Could you say your Venmo? That way they know where to pay.
Please. Oh, no.
He's got a 3D printing gun. He prints 3D stuff.
Oh God, I have so many issues with that. I have so many issues. Oh God.
Just on quality,
he's like, the
right?
craftsmanship is just
exactly
fakakta. All the
they're all blue. God damn it!
But he still prints out the orange tip. It's the really weird thing about it.
It's so weird. It's the weirdest thing.
You can tell.
I got this much orange.
Now I gotta send this. Now I gotta send out the Nerf gun now to you guys. Oh God. Give me a second.
Oh, is it one of the Nerf guns that they've modded to be?
Yeah.
No,
be a real gun?
No, it's the other way around. Not well,
the other way around.
Yeah,
it's a gun they modded to be a Nerf gun.
Okay, give me 1 second.
High capacity stickers.
Oh no. Where's the chat in here right now?
They didn't even stick to stuff. They just put holes in it.
Oh, I can't even.
Okay, to be honest with you guys, wasn't it, when you guys all had Nerf guns, it was like, I swear to God, maybe a day or two that the little like suction cups actually were stuck to stuff, and after that, you were just shooting foam at each other, right? Like nothing stuck to anything.
I mean,
did yours last longer? I don't know.
If you were made of window.
In the Zoom chat, what is this? What are we doing here?
In the Zoom chat, yes.
Like we're in a
sky. Oh no! Oh no!
Yeah.
Okay, that doesn't even look like a Nerf gun though. That looks like a Terminator gun.
That's just a gun.
That's just a gun.
But then they put the Nerf sticker on there, like, no, guys, it's fine. It's okay, officer. Yeah.
So it's a Glock 19 that's been modded, and then it's an MCK attachment. Yeah, it's a lot. So when Kareem talked to me about being on the show, Kareem knows how I feel about firearms. And yeah, so I feel like that was a big indicator for like, oh hey, I want JPG on this show. For this one.
Actually, the center point of a lot of action films is the violence, and that also hinges on guns. So,
but also the fighting acumen, which I think Jason also can speak to as well.
Yeah, and I also wanted to, and I don't want to like presume, but I also
I know it, so it's not completely racist.
No,
it's a factual statement. It's not.
Of course, you would, Lefty. No, I wanted to get his take on any Asian films that we might leave out of this thing. Like, again, I know Pat took a class, he probably knows some as well. I just didn't want to.
Pat took a class. Racial sensitivity classes don't count, you guys.
Oh, he's trying.
As a white man, I know that they 100% do. They gave me a certificate. Okay.
Oh my goodness. They say print it out just for free.
Yeah. If it's mandated by HR, the class doesn't count. Okay.
Why do I haven't said a racial slur in blank many days, and it's been since I've taken the class. That's the number of days on there. I took the class last week.
He also hasn't finished.
Going really well.
When did you take the class? 3 hours ago.
Yeah, I said a lot of sexist stuff since then,
and it's still open in the browser tab.
Actually, I haven't hit complete yet.
Yeah, it's the timer's still going. Like, I haven't taken this person this long. He must be. Really
there's a lot of questions about things that I've got strong opinions on. So, and they're multiple choice. If I can't write them in, I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the other reason why I wanted you included in this. So as I mentioned, we can do as we already started, the 9/11 talk, which leads into a bunch of other things. I also was recently watching some filmmaking videos a la YouTube, but a lot of people were talking about shaky cam. And then it had me thinking that the MCU uses a lot of shaky cam as well, and how that's affected action films, and a lot of people are tracing it back to the start of like the Bourne Identity films, where they would use that to kind of get the audience involved in the action and speed it up. But since then, a lot of people have, a lot of directors have taken shortcuts, a la Liam Neeson films, where they do a lot of cuts to stuff, and it kind of breaks up the action. It doesn't really show you what's going on, and it also helps older actors seem like they're actually doing fighting stuff.
Really would have helped in The Irishman with that Scorsese, with that De Niro stuff, because watching an 80-year-old man get aged down, still kick like an 80-year-old man, it's tough.
But there's
please remind me. I have a rant about Taken 1 and then Taken 2. So I don't know if I've done this rant on your show yet.
This is going to be fun.
Okay,
you can just do it right now if you want. That's an action movie.
No, we have to go in order.
Right.
Have you not been on the show before? There is no order.
That's a good point. Honestly,
chaos
in my brain, right? And you're gonna see this you're gonna see the switch flip in a little bit as well too. I don't know if we've started the show yet. So
we have. The show started.
I don't
as soon as your face showed up,
but it hasn't felt like it, and I haven't gotten into podcasting mode yet. So please forgive me for this.
No, we're gonna keep talking until you.
We're just gonna keep going. Okay, great.
That's
all right.
If you want, we can have an action. That's good.
Could we just for just for posterity, if we're talking about action films today, we just need an action.
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 There you go.
A little more umph.
Hi. So please listen to us on Tangential Podcast, Tangential Giants. Okay, let's start it over. All right.
All right, go ahead, Pat.
We'll do it live.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Do it live, damn it.
Fucking thing sucks.
Hi, my name is JPG, and I am the host of Tangential Giants. With me today is...
What the hell is this shit?
You know what? Can you manifest destiny that? I can understand it.
Hey,
respect it.
Put a goddamn flag down. What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
With me on this podcast today is Patrick Kellenberger. Pat, please tell us where to find you on social media.
No, man. Crap. Why would I even know that? Patrick_Canelo on Twitter and Instagram.
Next up, we have the beautiful Ken Rollo. Ken Rollo, where can we find you?
Folks, you can find me all across the internet at Ken Rollo. Do a wide variety of things. One coming up in May, which you might hear about coming up soon, that Jason may plug. I'll let him be the arbiter of that. And then also Comic Banter.
And our special guest today is Kareem Anderson. And, so I'm so happy that you could open up your schedule for this. I really do appreciate you coming on such short notice. So tell us where we can find you.
In a courtroom talking to my lawyer about this hostile takeover. God damn it. If you're looking for me on social media, though, you can find me at Mindhead1 on Twitter, where I'll be talking about this hostile takeover.
I'm really glad everybody committed to the bit. Thank you for that.
I wish I had a soundboard to start playing Kareem off there in a moment. Just like Kareem, I want to let you finish real quick, but I just want to say Jason JPG had the greatest intro this season. All right, I want everyone to know that.
It's also very. It's also very funny too, because you guys call the show Tangential Giants, and I am the shortest guest that you have, by far, right? I'm sitting on a phone book right now just to be on camera.
But you're a giant in the podcasting industry.
Oh,
okay.
True. I'm JPG, by the way. Please find me at Speaker JPG and Linktree/Speaker JPG as well too. On a whole bunch of shows, I am a producer, RPG player, RPG actor, I guess. What do I say in my bio? I don't even know what I say in my bio. RPG performer. Thank you. And then I'm a podcaster, geek educator. I'm on a bunch of different shows. Ken, I don't know if we're able to plug the show that we're going to be on next, but we're going to be on a show in May, and please listen to that as well too.
It's going to be
and
great.
as of recently, also a goddamn thief.
Yeah. I'm also the sneakiest thief, and I've actually, it's so weird. Since we've been talking, I actually bought tangentialgiants.com.
Oh, I've been busy.
Like, this is so
Just
weird.
I showed one
perfection.
episode of Money Heist, and this is what happens.
Although when you do have your episode on heist films and heist media, please have me on.
I will. Well, I got to get someone. I mean, it'll be just you and me. I don't think these two are gonna watch it.
Well, not Money Heist, but we still got a bunch of other heists and stuff. But
There's
that
a ton of fantastic heist movies out there that are
just
not Money
Ocean's 8.
Heist.
There's
Just
money.
Ocean's 8.
There's Money Train,
The
Money
bad one.
Heist,
Nope,
Money Plane,
nope,
Money Talks with Chris Tucker, also from
That's
Rush Hour.
true.
Yeah.
Nope.
Speaking of Chris Tucker, he's in quite a few good action films. I like that Chris Tucker guy.
Let this hang.
Name
Just let
one.
this hang.
Name one?
Name one.
Fifth Element. The Fifth Element is a pretty
You could
good
think
one.
of Rush Hour.
Fair enough.
I already said Rush Hour. You said no. I'm walking away from this podcast. And so no.
we were playing the Oscars music while Kareem was getting this show stolen from him.
Yeah, there's that.
It's fair enough. Fair enough.
Hey,
The last thing,
Hollywood's really like.
topic 4 too that we could also cover if you guys wanted to.
Just give me the topic. We've already started.
Start.
Give me the topic.
Favorite
Just-
type of action movie.
First topic.
favorite type of
First
action
topic.
movie.
Favorite type. Okay. Since Kareem is the guest, would you mind going first?
No. What is going on here?
He's a little
All
shy.
right.
He's a little shy.
No. I'm
Okay,
gonna go.
okay,
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna set this up. I've talked about it a million times on my former podcast, and it's Terminator 2. It's got to be one of my
sci-fi.
favorite ones. Yeah, I guess you could say that sci-fi. Yeah, I feel
Starship
like a lot
Troopers.
yeah, I mean, but my favorite one, and I broke it down in like the decades, so to speak. So I have, and I only named 3 to keep it simple: Terminator 2, Desperado, and Bad Boys.
Okay.
Desperado, I thought was just really interesting because of the gunplay and all of that focused heavily. I feel like that was one of the characters within the movie itself, was just the amount of guns and how people kind of made weapons out of certain things, and specializing weapons too. That was, people had this first time I'd seen in movies, someone has specialization in something. You normally see the assassin who kind of can do everything. This is where you get broken into things like that, and it kind of carries over when you see movies like Kill Bill, where you have like the swordsman, or you have the odd weapons person who specializes in that. I thought that was cool. Bad Boys, I just think I know it's a Michael Bay thing, but I also feel like it's probably one of the best Michael Bay films he's had, and I think it's due in large part to Will Smith and Martin Lawrence being in that project together.
I mean, Mike Lowry, okay?
Mike
Put some respect on his name.
Lowry.
It's no Wild Wild West, but it's okay for Will Smith.
You're damn right it's no Wild Wild West.
All right. Well, this is our first. I guess this is going to be like the first tangent I take everyone on.
Go ahead.
I very much enjoy that film. I enjoy Wild
Which
Wild
one?
West.
Come Shivu. Let the party begin.
It's trash.
what?
But I enjoy it.
Are you
There's a difference between me understanding that it is bad and me like emotionally
Okay.
enjoying it.
okay? All right.
Right?
Before we harp on it, I would like you to explain what was it that you liked about it.
Well, I did like the turn that Jim West was black, and then they do
Okay.
point it out like it's a heavy part of the story, right?
Mhm.
And then I just think the the opening scene in the water hole is just classic, right? I think Kevin Kline as the buddy cop for the buddy cop is ridiculous, and it worked.
Yeah. It's not since maybe Road to El Dorado has he played another kind of buddy comedy role, and it fits so well.
Yeah, the film is bad. The film is bad. It robbed us of Will Smith being Neo, right? But I still enjoy it, right? And I think that's where I wanted to pick up after you, Kareem, because there's an action film that I love, that is very good and very accurate, and then there's action films that are terrible, and I love them dearly for it, right?
Yeah.
Because
Sever.
no, okay.
I think we're gonna talk about a bunch of those.
Yeah, and I'll give you my examples for these right now, right? I love highly accurate action films when it comes to the amount of seconds somebody gets knocked out, the amount of bullets you would have in a magazine, or certain types of revolvers, or things like that. Because I'm the psychopath who counts bullets, like who counts shots in it with like within scenes, right?
Where could people find you again?
In their closets.
Yeah, well, I'm in your house right now.
Gotcha.
Okay, so for screen accurate stuff, I would say John Wick is one of my absolute favorite action films. For ridiculous, like please let me have this, Surf Ninjas is my favorite action film on that end. And look at Ken just being so excited, right?
Quansu, dude.
It's so bad.
Yeah, it's but I love it.
Wait, did you ask what, kid?
Yeah, when was the last time you watched it? That movie is phenomenal.
It holds up. It does hold
I
up.
would say last time I watched it, I might have been like 18, 19 years old. And
it holds up.
It didn't hold up.
It did.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
It didn't.
I watch it once
really
a year.
bad.
It holds up.
I love the part when I was like, sorry.
Just like,
are you against Ernie Reyes and Ernie Reyes Jr. being together on screen and sharing time together as father and son within it? Like I
am actually against all fathers and sons spending any time together.
That's
But
fair.
it's real cats in the cradle
back
thing.
in on that. Yeah.
As a person with no father, I guess I have.
Hey, guess what?
A little more
The Bushes
involved
spent
there.
time together, and look what we got.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
Keep them
So do the
separated.
Trumps.
Oh,
Okay.
got
shit.
dark. Okay. Anybody else favorite action films?
I will interject real quick because I think Will Smith made a good point. Is that if they had cast him as Neo, they wouldn't have cast Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, and so getting Morpheus as Lawrence Fishburne was definitely the payout there, because he had said the producers didn't. I don't know who else they would have gone with, but they would have said James Caan.
What?
That's my guess.
No.
He's just
Oh.
guessing. Don't listen to him.
Said it with a lot of confidence.
Just with the confidence of a white
He
man.
was gonna throw out James Gandolfini next, and you would have believed it.
Oh, 100%, right?
Yeah, but like so Will Smith had said that he's, because of the way they were trying to cast the movie a little more diverse, but they only wanted the one black guy, is that they probably wouldn't have had Lawrence Fishburne as Morpheus, which I'm like, ooh, that's a hell of a trade-off, because it's like, that's a great role for Lawrence Fishburne. And I love him since Fled and Pee-wee's Playhouse. So he's had a bunch of other stuff that I've enjoyed him in. So it is a weird thing to say, like, I mean, yes, it cost us that, but then we did get this other phenomenal performance.
No, we
also gave us John Wick. We
Right.
don't have John Wick if Keanu Reeves isn't Neo.
That's
Like,
true.
those are gone.
Wait,
Yeah.
Probably another Liam Neeson movie.
I mean, because we still got Speed, and he was in like.
That was like 6 years before that.
No, but I'm saying, what was the surfer movie? Like, he does action. It wasn't like.
Oh,
he
no,
wasn't
Point
gonna
Break.
find- Yeah, he wasn't like he wasn't gonna find his way back to action.
No, but he was off over in the Lake House. So who's to say that we would have got him back over to Matrix? If it wasn't for Matrix,
Wait, but when did Lake House come out after Matrix?
I don't believe so. We can find out there.
But
He
I mean, the problem is
him and Sandra Bullock teamed up real hardcore after the Matrix too.
2006's Lake House.
99 is the Matrix.
Yeah.
99
So
is
he
Matrix.
came back around to action.
Yeah, exactly. So but think
My
about
point
that.
is that
You would have had less action in his blood. He would have been like, "No, I'm fine. I'm just gonna keep you in
It's
Lake
not-
House."
It's
And-
not
and
even that.
The replacements.
They wouldn't have thought to cast him in it. Like, yeah, he hasn't been in an action movie since Speed. Who cares? Get out of here. You're a romantic comedy guy.
Now, when we're talking about like action right now, right? Are we specifically talking about like violence?
I think that's the
no, I
crux
don't
of
think
it.
so.
I mean,
I
not
mean,
sexy action unless you want to go down the erotic
I don't think it's strict.
thriller
I don't
path.
think it's
I like
strictly
that
violence.
two of you were opposing each other and then Pat made it weird. Like that.
That's what Pat
Like,
does.
That's just the brand of this whole show.
That's my thing.
Pat is like
That's
he's
what
like
I
the
do.
Joker from Dark Knight. He's I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Do I really look like a guy with a plan? You know what I am? I'm a dog chasing cars. I wouldn't know what to do with one if I caught it. You know, I just do things.
No, I think there's lots of like well, I guess we could say violence, because I was gonna say like stuff like what was that one where they're on the mountain, or not cliffhanger, but it was like another mountain-esque type action movie.
With Montgomery Wick.
Yeah, with Montgomery Wick and stuff like that. Like that's considered action, but there was no guns or anything.
I don't know what Montgomery Wick is.
It's the name of the character. It's played the guy that played Stick in The Defenders.
Oh. This is I don't know.
He was Bishop.
Vertical Limit.
Oh, Lance Hendrickson.
Yes.
Nope. No,
Lance Hendrickson's in it.
Okay, no, because you said Bishop. That's Lance Hendrickson.
Yeah, he's in Vertical Limit.
But that's not Stick in The Defenders.
Is it not?
Oh, no, you're right. No, it's Scott Glenn. I get those two confused.
They're very much like he's his stand-in. That's like, oh, we can't afford Lance Hendrickson. Someone go get me Scott Glenn.
And to be honest, sometimes that flips depending on which one's in vogue at the moment. You know, Lance Hendrickson, there's a lot of turds in that punch bowl at this point.
This is when the world thought Chris O'Donnell could carry a movie.
Ooh, that's dark.
I'm not wrong. Wrong.
He's Robin.
Yeah, he's a Robin.
He's Val Kilmer's stand is what he is.
Yeah.
He's the Tommy Maguire of Robins.
Oof.
Ooh.
So that's what I meant about like you could have action without like the blowing stuff up and excessive gunplay and stuff like that.
Well, that's like when you first posed a question to me, my brain started going through. I'm like, I'm not I do love action films, but most of mine are usually, buffered by a fair amount of comedy, at least for me, like the stuff that I like. And so I think of Die Hard, very much an action film, but to me, it's also the comedy of a young Bruce Willis. It's Moonlight.
Bruce Willis who cared about acting?
Like I said, it's a young Bruce Willis where he actually cares. He's not like, if you listen to Kevin Smith at all, you do know I'm not going to run over there. Why would I run? It's like, because that's what the action calls for. And he's like, no, he just saunters across no.
It is not just Kevin Smith. I've been listening to podcasts, and I want to say Kevin Smith mentioned this probably roughly almost a decade ago, probably even longer, about his run-in with Bruce Willis and what was the movie him and Tracy Morgan were filming?
Cop Out.
Since then, there have been so many other podcasts that have been talking about Bruce Willis films and how he just doesn't give a shit on most of those. It was the stuff before. It was basically like after the Die Hard series, maybe even Die Hard with the Vengeance may have been his last like hurrah of like, I'm going to actually try and do stuff and deliver lines. But anything before that.
Did he try in The Fifth Element? I mean, he got the hair dye and everything. He was in costume.
I think he tried. I would say he's trying in that movie.
I think there is, because that's for me, going through the Die Hard films again, it is Vengeance where it stops where he looks like he's beat up. Like the first, like at the end of the first one, he is done. You're thinking, how is he still standing? And then when you get to Die Hard, Live Free or Die Hard, and he's just like, I killed a helicopter with a plane, and like he becomes Jason Bourne.
Live Free or Die Hard. No, I'm going to be a little bit pedantic over here right now.
Yeah.
Live Free or Die Hard. He doesn't kill a helicopter with a plane. He kills a helicopter with a car.
Yeah.
He literally drives a car up one of the ramps and actually hits a helicopter.
Wait, you haven't?
Did he destroy a fighter plane, a fighter jet too?
He did.
Yeah, he did
take out a VTOL jet. Yes.
Yeah,
with a semi, I believe? Question mark.
And I think there's a lot to say when it comes.
Yeah, I think you're right.
When it comes to fantastical action as opposed to realistic action, right? There's a reason why. There's a reason why I love the Street Fighter film. But there's
whoa.
That's on my list, by the way. That's why would he need
Mortal Kombat made mine?
It's clearly a phenomenal film.
Wait, it made yours too, Pat?
No, Mortal Kombat did though.
Oh, Mortal
Kombat, awesome. Phenomenal film.
Street Fighter, not so much.
No, Street Fighter is incredible. It's ridiculous and campy, and then Jean-Claude Van Damme has one of the best third act speeches ever.
Meanwhile, ideals like peace, freedom, and justice, they get packed up, but we can all go home. Well, I'm not going home.
And what do you have against Raul Julia's final performance? What is
final performance?
What did he
after
do to you?
Cancer?
Yeah.
Hey, Tucker Carlson. I didn't say any of that. I said none of this.
Can we check the tape? I think we can check the tape.
I said it
Damn,
was
he's
a
the
bad
editor.
movie. I had
Jason,
nothing-
can
I
you
had
hire a
nothing-
better editor for your podcast?
That's yeah.
The Raul Julia literally gives one of the best, just that small speech about when you M. Bison went to your village, it was the most important day of your life. To me, it was a Tuesday.
I'm sorry. I don't remember any of it.
You don't remember?
For you, the day Bison graced your village was the most important day of your life. But for me, it was Tuesday.
Like, it's just fucking perfect.
Like he played his heart out in that whole film,
Yeah.
and nobody understood what was happening.
And for his kids, like that's amazing.
Okay, but there's a reason. There's a Street Fighter film, and then there's the Raid for me. Right.
Ooh.
And I have another rant about how just every Western filmmaker thinks and I hate it when people think Western filmmakers are geniuses when they just ripped off something else, right? The Dread film is incredible, right? It for what they were given, Carl Urban, Lena Headey, and that so good, right? But it was an obvious, they obviously heavily borrowed from the Raid.
Control, do you copy?
My comms are down too.
Shielding must be blocking our transmissions. We'll head for the med center. Call it.
Yes.
Which I'm hoping all four of us have seen the Raid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh God, Ken. Okay,
Wait, Ken, you haven't seen it, Ken?
No, there's a whole section of this that is Jason's going to fill in for me because there's a large swath of films that I haven't gotten into that I think are very much outside of my comfort zone. And so, yeah.
I'm always looking for accuracy. And if somebody gets hit and they get knocked out and they're not up in 2 or 3 seconds, they're dead.
Now, we are fucked.
Right? That's it. You don't get knocked out and then groan on the floor for an hour and a half. No, if you get knocked out, and you see this constantly, you can see this in real life for, say, the UFC or something like that, right? Somebody gets knocked out, a couple seconds later, they wake up and they start fighting the referee or the people who are trying to help them or the doctors or something like that, right? It's that fight or flight response. You don't just do that, right? With the Raid, it's they're just hurt beyond recognition. We're just never going to see them again. And also in the Raid, if anybody has a knife, not even a gun or anything like that, if anybody has a knife, just know in every scene, if somebody picks up a knife, stuff is going down, right?
Yeah, I mean that is true. I do. People do get cut all the time in the Raid, and not just by knives. They get cut by being slammed through windows, half broken doors, open elevators. They're cut all the time. And I mean, like you said, I do love the fact that they're constantly moving in those movies.
Yeah, and there's a reason why we love, say, for example, the Daredevil hallway scene.
Oh yeah.
As opposed to shaky cam, right? There is a continuous amount of violence that doesn't let your brain shut it off. When we switch to those scenes, right? Our brain gets to reset and then think of this as something new, as opposed to if it is one continuous shot or if it is if it's a lot of longer shots as well. And Ip Man does an incredible
very much so, yeah. I was gonna bring that up.
Yeah, Ip Man does an incredible job of this as well too. When we cannot disconnect ourselves with the violence, that's when people get squeamish. But then psychopaths like me, that's when I love it, right?
Well, I think there's also an appreciation for the art form that develops over that course of time, and the relationship with the fighters or whatever action is going on in that scene. You start to feel the weight of it because you're becoming almost mentally and sensory input exhausted by yourself. So you're waiting for it to end too, just like the people who are going through it. So when you watch like a Jackie Chan film, and he goes through a 7-minute fight scene where he's just constantly moving, and you see him breathing heavy, and you see him starting to get worn down. You yourself as a viewer can empathize with that because you are somewhat exhausted yourself. Versus we see Liam Neeson, slap hands for 2 or 3 minutes, and you're like, oh, okay, I guess he beat up 7 guys in those 30 seconds.
Liam Neeson's is the shit, man.
The fact that we had taken, which was incredible and lovingly crafted, and then at the end of Taken 2, the big fight scene is an overweight Turkish dude in the middle of a bathhouse wearing a tracksuit, just giving Liam Neeson the business. I don't understand how that worked.
And point of clarification, didn't Taken 2 come out after Eastern Promises?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So didn't they just were like, that's cool, let's put some pants on him, get him in there.
Yeah.
Like we just less dicks and we can do this. This is fine. Less dicks.
I wonder if they had auditions like, let me see this. No, we're not. These guys are too small. Put some pants on them. Let's keep filming.
Just an overweight Turkish dude in a full tracksuit in the middle of a bathhouse.
But he's also fighting a 60-year-old. What is Liam Neeson? He's not Scottish. What is he?
I don't know.
Is he Irish?
I don't know. Oh God! Now somebody has to fact check us on this one. I don't know.
Either way, he's 60-something years old trying to fight people.
Just giving him the business.
Fernando, I'm sorry, I don't remember. One of our listeners.
I also wondered.
Ooh, Northern Ireland.
Ugh. Yeah, now we're in trouble.
Here's the thing, though: a Northern Irish person in their 60s, I still wouldn't fight him hand to hand.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Oh, I would try it if he were sober.
When is he going to be sober?
No, because
that's your question.
The collective hangover would kill him, right?
Yeah, you reach a point where you can't stop.
That was a bad joke for towards
Uh-uh.
Irish people, and I apologize for that. So.
Too late.
As I speak for all Irish people, it's fine.
Yeah, I'm good with it. It's fine.
I don't know how I feel about that. I don't know how I feel.
He's the ambassador.
Okay, so then,
between the ginger giant and the Hapa, the half pint, I think you're okay.
Yeah,
you're
that's
good.
fair.
Yeah.
Okay, but
coverage.
So I talked about accuracy, right? Like this is what makes an action film good for me, right? Like what's the defining trait for you guys?
But I think you hit the nail on the head. It was either accuracy or so outlandish it's amazing just to watch the spectacle. The issue is what we've had happen over the last 10 or 15 years with kind of the direct to Netflix, direct to DVD action movies, where it's a combination, like the middle ground in the worst way of those two. Like, well, I'll take a little bit of the raid, but I'll make the cam shaky because we can't actually do that stuff. And then at the end, he's going to jump from building to building like it's Fast and Furious. Like where they're taking all of the
action movies.
Oh, 100%. But that
I'll give it to you. It's so fun.
And by the way, Fast 5 is the right answer of the fast ones if you're going to pick one. It's Fast 5.
Yeah, it is.
Is that where the Israeli girl
Hands down.
falls in love with the Asian guy? Because I very much connect.
I think the start of it, right? It's the start of it.
That's where the relationship begins. Yes.
I very much connect to that. Yes. Okay.
So you're just always eating food now?
He's not Brad Pitt. He's
Brad pitting his way through life.
That's
Brad pitting his way.
Yeah, that's who Hans mimics his character after.
Oh, really?
I will say I will always have a very soft spot in my heart for those 80s and 90s lone action guy action movies, like the Roadhouses of
Roadhouse. We're talking about Roadhouse.
Yeah, baby.
Oh my God, Roadhouse.
I'm the cooler. You're the bouncer.
Just the pseudo Eastern bullshit in that whole film is so good. It's so good.
Well, and the fact that whenever he's doing it, he is smoking unfiltered Marlboros the entire time. He is doing freaking meditation, but still just puffing away on that heater like there's no tomorrow.
So good. Roadhouse is quintessential 80. Like, and I hate to say that because like one of my favorite action films in the 80s is Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme, right?
Yes.
And as an adult, and as a child, I loved Bloodsport. As an adult, that's when I got to see Roadhouse, and now I'm torn. I'm torn between what is better, because like we can argue about Van Damme films all day, but Bloodsport is the best 80s Van Damme action film.
I don't think it's even close. It's Bloodsport. There's not.
Yeah.
There's the second
Kickboxer gets close.
No love for Lionheart here. Come on, guys.
I feel like Kickboxer is kind of one of those
fine.
like. I feel like Kickboxer was a niche one for him, though. I feel like everyone knows Bloodsport.
Oh yeah.
I will say
Lionheart's a niche one for him. If you like
this.
Yeah, Lionheart is.
They just become the same movie after a while. Like he's like,
no.
Time...
I feel like people know Time Cop a lot.
But that's 90s.
But that's and that's a shift away from like, his name's not Boudreaux in this one, and he's on the run from the law.
Plus, if we're gonna talk about 90s Van Damme films, we have to mention that he remade Bloodsport into The Quest.
Oh yeah, was that 90s or is that 2000s?
Yeah, that was 90s.
That was 90s. Yeah, and he tried to get it to catch on again.
Yeah, but he was introducing like English boxes.
The money for the drugs had run out at that point, so he had to like, let's get this going again, guys. Let's do this.
He was also in the action film with Byron Mann, Street Fighter, and that's also another great Jean-Claude Van Damme film.
That was all edited out.
Is it called
big black spot in the pot?
Is it called Double Team? And he was no.
Double Team and Double Impact.
Double Team, Double Impact. Right?
No,
Double Impact
Double
is
Team is
twin.
Dennis
Rodman.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Really? Damn it! That is.
Yeah. Both films incredible, just cocaine fueled writing all day. Right?
Wait, isn't Double Team also with Rob Schneider?
In what? And who else is it? I'm sure there is.
I'm sure he's in one of them. I'm sure
that's one with Rodman.
Rob Schneider was in everything from 93 to 97.
Because he's in Demolition Man.
Well, yes, that's also a topic I need to touch on. But go on.
He's in Judge Dredd, the good one.
He's in, yeah.
I do not stand by that statement in any way, shape, or form. Do not stand by that statement. I had to go on record in the Bloodsport versus Roadhouse. I'm gonna say, it's probably controversial. I think Roadhouse has the better villain. Bloodsport clearly has the better soundtrack.
Wait, you're telling me that the Light Industrialist is better than Tong Po?
Because it's so stupid, it's fantastic.
Wait, no, is it Tong Po or Chong Li? Is it Tong Po or Chong Li for Bloodsport?
I think it's Chong Li.
I think it might be Chong Li, and then Tong Po is for Kickboxer.
Yeah, I believe that's right. But no, it's just
it's a different guy for. Oh yeah, you're right.
They introduce the Roadhouse villain by showing him swerving his convertible across lanes to show that he doesn't play by anybody's rules. That is his introduction. Like, I'm just gonna do this. I'm my own man.
With that explanation, I will side with Pat on that because it's so ludicrous. Like,
it's so stupid.
I'm gonna side with Jason now.
That's fair. You expect a fighter villain in Bloodsport. That is what you get.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Okay.
You don't expect a guy who's like, well, there's no such thing as any other police force around here. I just own this. I just run this town with an iron fist. No one comes here, so I don't even know where the money's coming from. But this hardware store better keep paying me, damn it.
And I do have to say, their endings, right? Their endings teach you very, very different lessons. Bloodsport, in the first place, right? Like, you took revenge for a friend and you did the right thing. Although Frank Dukes, as a person in real life, I'm sure is absolute trash.
Oh no, he's trash.
But trash. With Roadhouse, and I can't remember Patrick Swayze's the name of his character. Oh my gosh.
Jason Roadhouse.
Jason Roadhouse.
No.
Okay,
Dalton.
but Patrick Swayze's
Yes,
character,
Dalton, wasn't it?
Dalton. Okay, okay, but Dalton teaches the town how to stand up for themselves at the end.
This is our town, and don't you forget it.
You're saying how they learn how to walk tall?
Oh,
And then cue music for The Rock, but not the Kevin Sorbo one. Fuck that one, but just The Rock one.
He also teaches us
No mid
get
podcast
stitched-
directing.
Oh, fine. No one wants to talk about The Rock.
Snitches
Actually, you know what?
Oh, we will.
I
We'll
actually
talk
did.
about him.
I actually did really appreciate how you mid-directed during my podcast, Ken. Thank you so much for that.
Shit's going off the rails. Do whatever you want in this podcast. Got no leadership.
Oh God.
But no, to your point of like what I look for in an action film, because I think you asked yes yourself, you answered yourself. I think you asked Pat. What I was looking for is something new, like a new action sequence, action scene. And if I can't get that, then
So you hate Michael Bay, right?
Yeah. I hate Michael.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Bad Boys. but
I
I'm
was
not
like,
a
why
fan.
did it get silent? I didn't think that was
No, it's
gonna
not
be
controversial.
controversial.
We're just letting
fan of
him
it.
work it through it. He had to you saw the wheels turning.
Well,
it's
I'm thinking in my head, I'm
Ah.
like, are there any action sequences that he's not as a totality of his entire work? Like, I'm not a fan of it, but there are some things that he blows up, and I'm like, well, that was kind of cool.
I love the movie The Rock.
Yeah,
Exactly,
The Rock
stuff like that.
is a seminal film, right? I was more so talking to that Michael Bay actually uses repeat explosions from different films in other films. So
He does.
when you're like, oh, I'm seeing something new, right?
Oh,
But
so
to my
you're
second
upset
point,
'cause
though,
he's
is that-
budget conscious.
So my
Sorry,
second point is the
he's using a
story.
Sentai effect. He just say he reuses that same explosion again.
Oh,
and again.
don't use what I love against me, Ken. I will fight you.
Kareem,
So if I
please,
can't get a new
please.
scene like something like in Ronin, where you get a really cool, like for the first time, really awesome car chase sequence, then I'll look towards the story. And then like Pat says, if it's super absurd, then you got me.
Yeah,
Like stuff like
okay.
The Art of War, Passenger 57, or Air Force
Anything
One, stuff
Wesley
like that.
Snipes has ever
Air
made.
Force One.
If you can give me an action story where I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous, but I'm going to sit down for the ride.
Every time I travel and my wife walks in front of me and we're about to like disembark, I always want to kick her in the backpack and just be like, get off my plane. that like stray thought always flashes in my head.
There was only 2 lines that were going to come out of that story. I'm glad it was that one.
Wait, what was the other one?
Sweating through your silk. That is the only other one that could have come from that.
Yeah, that would have made it weird.
Well, that movie also gave me both. It gave me that absurd story, and it gave me something new when they killed off Steven Seagal in the first like 5.
No,
like,
that's
you don't see
executive
that.
decision.
That's
I
was gonna say.
right. I'm thinking executive decision.
Steven Seagal
Well, I mean, it
is a
was a
whole
plane
nother
heist.
podcast of just, especially when we talk about people who are like well past their prime in their editing, where it's like, oh yeah, he's in this fight. No, he is not. He is sitting over there eating the donut, and he's just like,
Ken, put Steven Seagal films on our list for next month for Tangential Giants, please.
Certainly, boss.
Great idea. That's a great idea.
Well, while you're
This guy's
at
really
it,
good at this. This guy's really good.
I also brought up, we have our list of 80s movies. If you guys, before we move on to something else, if any of you want to kind of briefly talk about it, we have Terminator, Predator, RoboCop, Indiana Jones. That, we consider those action films, right?
Yeah, I mean, so for my 80s list, I had Beverly Hills Cop,
Yes,
Indiana Jones, Die
Yep.
Hard, Aliens, and then I had like this
Yep.
running tab that was like Commando, Terminator, Running Man. That's just like
Mhm.
the Schwarzenegger category because he just gets his own strip.
There's so much good action sci-fi in the 80s, just based on Running Man, Aliens, and Predator alone. And then obviously Terminator, RoboCop, all that stuff. I'm
Well,
not
it
going to
was
go into
cute
Terminator,
Cyborg
RoboCop
with
here.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
It was cute, the
Jeez.
post-apocalyptic worlds that the 80s created versus what we get now, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, we're
Predator,
in apocalypse.
almost Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I mean,
Maybe that's why I thought it was cute what they
Yeah.
thought was going to be it versus what
Oh,
we
yeah.
actually are living.
Like, oh yeah, we're just gonna have trench coats and
Yeah, everyone's in
It's gonna
dusters.
rain a lot.
and guns that
No.
shoot electricity.
And
Nope.
Kevin Costner be drinking
Yeah.
his pee. It's awesome.
Waterworld was a complete
They went for it.
mess.
They went
But
for it.
okay, but I do have to say, The Postman, for it
Oh,
being
no,
very
no,
bad,
No,
for it
don't
being
say these
very
words
bad,
coming next.
it's a cool concept.
Just, I'm gonna mute you from you being very bad.
No,
That's
it's
it.
a
We're- stop
cool
it there.
concept.
Thank
It's
you.
a cool concept, okay?
So
I'm not
is it
saying
though?
that the execution
No,
was
no.
great.
This is, I think you could sum up a lot of Kevin Costner's career with, it's a cool concept. I'm not saying the execution
Yeah,
was great.
yeah, like Robin Hood, but with no British accent.
Mr.
mean,
Brooks.
Oh,
I
like
don't know what
Mr.
Mr.
Brooks,
Brooks.
actually.
You lost
Mr.
me there.
Brooks is he is a serial killer.
What?
Spoiler alert.
Who talks himself?
Yeah, but it's Kevin Costner being like, come on. Imagine
What
Kevin
was-
Costner trying to Dexter.
Wasn't
Yeah.
there one where he was like the villain, but like they hired he is a hitman that they hired to be a hitman. Oh god, this is like a 2010 era.
3,000 Miles to Graceland.
Oh god.
That
But
maybe, yeah.
But that's got Patrick Swayze, right? So no wait.
That's not Patrick
Oh,
Swayze.
God. Is it God, is it Captain Ron? Am I mixing up my
I don't think it's
I think it's
what?
Captain Ron. The guy who plays Captain Ron.
It's
It's
Kevin
Kurt
Costner, Kurt Russell.
It's Kurt Russell.
Courtney Cox.
Yeah.
Christian
Christian
Slater.
Slater. David Arquette.
Kevin Pollak. Oh crap! I forgot Usual Suspects on my list. Jesus.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Does that-
see,
does
and
that-
this is
I was gonna say, does that count as an action film though? Or is that a
and
thriller?
this is where it gets messy, right?
Boy.
Because you said Indiana Jones a little bit ago, where I
I
would
feel like
count
that's
that.
action. That's
I would count that as an adventure film.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's where like when we started talking about
okay.
things too.
Okay, I can see that.
So there are certain like lines to cross, whereas action, whereas and also you're talking about the my favorite genre of action. Mine are usually going to fall within like a comedy vein too, because it's usually going to be a buddy cop film, and just like Beverly Hills Cop, where it's like it's not a 2-person one, but it's Axel and Rosewood and Billy Rosewood and Taggart. It's the three of them as a buddy film, or Hot Fuzz, Men in Black, 48 Hours. 48 Hours is phenomenal. I love both that and Another 48 Hours, even though it's like a remake of itself. It's still awesome.
Okay, but I mean, all of those fall under. I mean, would you consider Bad Boys not an action film?
It
I
would.
feel like
Yeah,
those are all just variations of the same thing.
they are, but it falls into the subcategory because you have that because you said what's your favorite version of action films, and for me it's buddy cops. So it's like you do have Tango Cash, you have Bad Boys, you have those within that. So like The Rock is the same thing. The Rock is,
And yet, I didn't hear Lethal Weapon yet. Ken.
I didn't.
It's
I
weird.
don't.
It's
I'm trying not to
weird.
talk about Mel.
Very
I don't think
weird.
he's exactly someone we want to bring.
I know. I was just being a dick.
So Danny Glover and that
Yeah, what do you have
other
against
guy.
Danny Glover?
Yeah.
Danny Glover and
Predator 2.
Joe Pesci are great. I love
about
Danny
Chris
Glover
Rock?
and Joe Pesci.
Renee Russo.
Renee
That's another-
Russo.
Renee Russo. There you go.
Wonderful.
Renee Russo and Lethal
Well-
Weapon.
100%
like-
Lethal Weapon 3. It's
So I can just talk about
it's a
2,
movie.
3, 4, 5.
what do we do with Heat? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh no! I want to talk about
Because
that now.
Heat is a heist movie, but it has literally one of the top 3 greatest action sequences of all time.
Sandra
That
Bullock
bank
and
robbery scene.
Melissa McCarthy.
No,
No.
not drop the
No,
drop the
not
Not the Heat. Just Heat.
Heat.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes.
Not Cage Heat either. Heat.
And I think Heat would still be an action comedy.
Would it?
Oh, the Heat, you mean?
The Heat was so I think it would be considered an action comedy.
Yeah.
Because I'm thinking buddy cop thing, and that falls there,
Yeah.
right?
But
you know,
Heat's a good one.
I definitely don't want to keep this male centric as well too, because I came in with 2 films, and one of them you're gonna hate for me to talk
Beyond
about.
Flux,
I'm
I
very
get
sorry.
you.
No,
Ultraviolet. I get you.
we have to
The
talk
male
about.
gaze.
We have to talk about Harley Quinn and Haywire.
Oh, amazing! Not Haywire. Harley Quinn.
Okay. Haywire is
Wait.
really hard for me to talk about,
With Pamela Anderson.
No,
dude. That's barbed wire.
Oh.
Haywire is with Gina Carano.
Oh
And the
no!
voice
Fuck
dub.
no!
And no, okay.
But the
this is-
problem.
Go for it, Pat. Go for it.
No, it's the same. The problem is, I actually saw it recently. It was on. It's like, it's a very entertaining film, and there's a lot of good people in that movie.
And the fact of its accuracy,
Magneto,
right?
Gambit.
Yes.
One of
Ant-Man.
the things
Zorro.
that we see a lot, especially in female-centric fight films, right, and female-centric action films, is the body physics is usually off, right? Like a 90-pound woman will throw a 300-pound dude through a window, right?
You say
And
Danny Newton couldn't do that?
While you can't,
I dare you.
She a cyborg?
It's called judo, son of a bitch. Judo.
I will never, ever, ever speak ill against Tandy Newton. Mission Impossible 2 fucked me up.
use your opponent's weight against him. Yeah, she was pretty awesome with that.
So in that sense, though, Haywire does a very good job because the stunt coordinator and the fight coordinators understood Gina Carano's body weight, but they also understood her fight ability as well, too. It was the same exact thing with Harley Quinn. Whoever the fight and stunt coordinators were on there understood the builds and what these women could do. Because one thing that I absolutely loved about Harley Quinn was whenever somebody got punched by one of these incredible women, they weren't knocked out. It took a few, right? And that's not indicative of women fighting. That's indicative of fighting in general, right? And I hate these scenes where everybody just gets one punch and they go down and that's it, and you never see that henchman again.
If you you alluded to this earlier, if you get one punch knocked out like that, there's blood in your brain and you're gonna die if you don't get immediate medical attention. Like you're done.
Guy Gardner is the worst Green Lantern. We all agree about this. Okay.
we do. I
mean, aside from Hal Jordan, there's like, this and then this. So yeah.
Yeah. No,
Hal
Jordan's
Jordan's the worst Green Lantern.
Okay, fair enough.
He murdered the Green Lantern Corps.
Yep. But
I think that was Parallax, and I'm just gonna let that go.
Kareem, go ahead because it's about to get into a different entirely discussion.
Oh no, let's follow this tangent somewhere.
Space Jam this up.
I cannot talk about the Green Lantern lore right now. We can't do it. There's too much to talk about here.
Al Jordan did nothing wrong. and Space Jam: A New Legacy should have never existed.
I think we're on the
can agree with 50% of that.
If Hal Jordan hadn't fucked up as badly as he did, then Alex would have never been fridged. That's on Hal Jordan.
I always want to say
we wouldn't
something
get the term fridge.
I always want to say something controversial and then something that everybody can agree with, right?
You're gonna be a great politician, man.
Yeah, playing both sides.
You smell like shit, but I like your hair. Done and done. Easy.
I don't like the way it smells. I like the way it looks.
God.
No, I was gonna say to your point of Haywire, like
No.
I enjoyed the action sequences in that movie. It was just a string of action sequences though. And not only was her acting poor in that, but the story made no. I mean, like you were basically waiting for her to go from one fight to the next.
And let's juxtapose that with something like Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, right?
Okay.
Where it's more weapons based as opposed to more hand-to-hand based, right? And the understanding of the body still kind of translates to that as well, too, right? Because it's Michelle Yeoh and Zhang Ziyi, and just the subtle nuances between both of their styles, right? But they're both petite women. I mean, like I can't think of a better word for. I feel like petite is kind of derogatory on this one. Is it? Is it derogatory? Can I say this?
I'm sure it is. I think most of the things we're going to say about women without having a woman kind of check us on it would be derogatory.
Yeah. I think also that if we had a woman on the podcast, if they had a better term to use, that I think it's also a matter of. I mean, this is white male half here speaking, so my word is law. If
only half law,
yeah, half law
overruled.
Then there is a certain. If we could think of a better term, I think we would, and because we do want to try and come up with that.
Yeah,
so and like you can say waif like
smaller stature. Yes, yeah. But yes, and that's why the fight scenes in Harley Quinn are much better than people actually think.
No, I love that movie. Not only just for the fight scenes I thought were amazing. I love the story. I love the amount of women that they have in that, and the amount of focus in each one of them. Like everything, a lot about that movie was really done really well. For those who haven't seen it, should really go see it. I think it's whoever, the entire team that put it together should put a class together on how to make more films like that, where you have a majority of women in the cast. You can spend time on each of them and not fall into these tropes of like, oh, she's this one fighter can beat everybody up. It's, she has things that motivate her into each fight, things that make her don't want, kind of hide from a fight. In addition to that, when she does fight, it's believable. It's interesting. It's fun.
I mean, I'll take another female protagonist as well too. Furiosa in Mad Max Fury Road.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah.
Right. That felt the most realistic. Yeah, that's an incredible. I think it's just it's the most subtle feminist film I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. And I wonder during the course of shooting, were they just like, you know what, we're going to focus less on Tom Hardy?
I think they went in with it. I think they went in
that's good.
with that particular. It just
because I wonder if they were like
hard to switch.
I wonder if they were like, we're going to have him do this, and he got into his mind space of being a method actor and was like growling at people, and they're like, yeah, you go around the corner. Charlize, do you want to come back in for some more shoots, please?
And then she's just saying, I hate sand. Anakin, full on Anakining.
Well, I mean, I loved her explanation of being like, yeah, when they say action, I turn it on. When they say cut, I turn it off. That's acting. And he's over here like, it took me 7 months to get into the mind space of this guy who didn't say anything.
Would you just I got nothing. That's stupid. Method acting is dumb. I'm sorry if you're a method actor. Go get a hobby.
No one cared who I was till I put on the mask.
I feel like it's just the male excuse for I want to be an asshole on set.
Method acting is the definition of taking your work home. Yeah. And I live to never do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what's nice about home? Work's not there.
I know what you mean. I totally agree with you, Jason. I completely agree with you. Completely.
Yeah, as I'm saying this from my freaking nerd office right now.
But if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right?
That is a good point.
No, you never have a day off in your life. That's
that's the unspoken part of it.
Dark.